Hello.
Whoa.
Hello.
Whoa,
Hello. I just hit record. Well, we'll just go hello. Hi guys, welcome to the Shrewsbury Biscuit. I'm Al, and today I'm going to be speaking to writer, children's books writer, artist, very talented Matt Sewell, and we're also joined by our good friend and honorary biscuit. I say honorary biscuiteer as if it's some sort of like achievement in life. I'm a biscuiteer. James Warman. You may have heard of him. How are you?
I'm right? Good, thanks. Yeah. Thanks for coming.
I mean, reading about you and seeing you're everywhere. I mean, we were talking about as I was setting up, and I just chucked wires everywhere all over this table. That you're just everywhere at the moment. What a great feeling, right? To see your artwork everywhere, to see what's going on. You know.
Yeah, I've took advantage of the walls of Shrewsbury.
I was chatting about you with Robin from Petit-Glou.
Oh, yeah.
Because you did the mural.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can just imagine Matt Sewell, because I've talked about you loads of times, actually. It's weird how this is only just happening, to be fair. But I was like, I can just imagine Matt Sewell walking past a wall and going,
You pretty much, yeah. I'll take if there's a blank wall, I'll take a picture of it and be like, right, okay, who does this belong to? What can I do? You know?
Is it? I mean, when you get a blank canvas like that and you get a white wall, how difficult is it to decide what goes on that wall? Because for me, that's a struggle. When somebody's like, here's an idea, do what you want, Al. And I'm like, no, give me direction.
I mean, normally I don't know. I think the way my head is, I'm always just thinking of stuff. I've always got something going on in there, and it's usually like, that might work there, that might work there. Got sketchbooks full of ideas.
Yeah.
But I'm in quite a good position as well, where a lot of people know my work now, and so they just, if I approach somebody and say, "Can I paint on that?" or they approach me and say, "Can we pay you to paint on this?" They just want what I do anyway, you know. So it's great, and yeah.
It's weird. I mean, speaking from my own personal experience with what the biscuit has become, you know, people, I'll say, I do a podcast and they're like, I'm Alex Whiteley, and they're like, look at me blank, I'm the biscuit guy, and they go, that's Shrewsbury Biscuit, you know. And it's the same with you. I mean, I don't mean any offense to this at all, but like I've been like, I'm speaking to Matt Sewell. I've been really excited about this interview, by the way. Okay. I'm speaking to Matt Sewell. Who's Matt Sewell? The guy who paints the birds. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the bird guy.
The bird guy, yeah. Biscuit guy and the bird guy. Yeah.
We should make some bird biscuits for Christmas.
Why didn't we think about this? Shrewsbury biscuits with birds on them.
It's a gap in the market.
How small can you make these birds?
You need a nice big biscuit, surely.
Yeah, table sized.
Yeah.
Help yourself.
Handful size.
So you've got a beautiful exotic accent there. Where in Spain are you from?
The northeast of Spain.
So where are you from originally?
So I'm from County Durham originally. A little ex-mining town called Willington. And left there when I was 18. Went to art college in Ipswich, and then kind of lived all over the place. But I lived in Brighton for about 10 years, I think it was.
Why would you do that?
Well, live in Brighton.
Damn choice.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Brighton, I'm only joking.
Yeah, but my wife Jess, she's from here originally. Mm-hmm. And then we had kids, and it was very expensive down there. And as life works out, we kind of came back here for a bit and ended up stopping.
Just never left.
Yeah, just didn't leave. And yeah, I love it. I mean, it took a while for me to love it, I have to admit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love it now. It's brilliant.
For me, it was just an instant thing. I mean, as I was standing waiting for James, standing outside the loos. Bunch of roads.
Sounds dodgy.
I know, it really does sound dodgy.
Dodgy loos to wait outside of them.
People coming out the Prince Rupert like, oh, is he the guy? It's him, is it? So no, I was still outside waiting for James, and I was just looking up at, like, you know, towards the church, and I was just like, nah, this place is beautiful. Like, I don't need. It's just nice to get those reminders every now and again, isn't it?
Are you from here? Are you not?
No. So I'm not from far. Like, I mean, I started from Telford, moved to North Wales, Wrexham, back to Telford, and here again. I never really lived here, but my wife had family here, so we used to come here, and I was like, one day we'll live in Shrewsbury.
Yeah.
And we made it reality like 4 years ago, and we have never left, and I loved it. And like doing the Shrewsbury Biscuit, I was kind of like, I'm not qualified to do a podcast about a town I don't know of, but then I was like, that's the hook, isn't it?
Yeah.
Learning about the town.
I see. Yeah, totally. I mean, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's my walk to work.
Yeah.
You know, like through Bellevue and then down along the river and then up through the, you know, this back streets and stuff. And it's like beautiful, you know. Very, very, very inspiring. I mean, I don't draw buildings or anything, you know, but it's just, I like, you know.
Can you though? Like, I was wondering this about artists, because I know artists usually have their like niche or the thing that they do. Yeah. But like to be an accurate artist, does that mean that you can draw buildings, or you just choose not to? I mean, how does that work?
I mean, I've been going since the 90s.
I've been going since the 90s.
Yeah. Hardcore. No, so I did like 10 years of being a freelance illustrator, and at the same time as doing that, I was doing like lots of graffiti and street arty kind of stuff and having exhibitions. And then for 10 years after that, I was doing in publishing really. And now this is like all these, I'm trying to get back into doing more murals and all the stuff that I used to do before publishing, basically. So it's almost like I'm starting the next 10 years now. So in that first 10 years, of being an illustrator, I would do all kinds of stuff. I'd draw, you know, whatever came in, I would, you know.
So as a freelance sort of artist, whatever.
Yeah, illustrator, right? As you know, so for magazines and brands.
Oh, okay, brilliant.
Yeah. All kinds of stuff. So a lot of people knew me from that, you know. So it's not the bird guide to a lot of people, you know. But nature and birds were always part of it. So it wasn't like the biggest leap for me to be doing what I'm doing.
And where does that come? The whole nature aspect of it? Because I've read about you, and it's like a constant thing for you, isn't it? It's like with birds and nature
and a dog.
And a dog. If you're wondering why the pause is in audio, I'm fussing a dog whilst I'm doing this. Yeah. Where does that come from? Is it just a natural progression for you?
It's just always there. It's been there. I wouldn't. So as much as like a love of visual art and just not even art, just anything, even throw away graphic designy kind of stuff. You know, I've always just been really into stuff and visual stuff off TVs and film and animation, all that kind of, you know, in as much as music as well. All really massive things in my life. It's like nature as well is like one of the biggest sources of inspiration.
Oh,
and
nice.
Yeah. It's just always been there since I was a little kid. I kind of grew up in quite a rural area as well. Even though it was a mining town, you kind of, in 5 minutes, you're out in fields and woods and hills. You know.
It's very useful, nature.
Yeah.
Especially when, you know, life's a bit hectic and you can stop and be like, nah, it's not too bad. You look at the birds and the trees and stuff. Now, James, you've been doing a lot of photography at the moment, looking at people, artists and their hands, and you know, I've seen, your work has been fantastic. What have you learned in your travels about the mind of an artist and along your travels?
Well, what I've noticed is, I mean, I started the whole project really just to get a kind of understanding about art and artists. And you'll often see works of art, like Matt's works of art.
We're looking at a mural
all over town. Yeah, so we're sat in front of a massive one at the moment. So you're familiar with that, and you get that, but sometimes you don't actually know the artist themselves. So this project that I'm doing, Hands, Head and Heart, was really just to give the artist an opportunity to talk about themselves. And I've found that it's been a really fascinating process because I've had a range of artists. I've not really had any restrictions on who I photograph. If the person considers themselves an artist, then that's good enough for me. But I'm finding incredibly talented people just locally, and some artwork that, I mean, there was a lady I photographed a couple of months ago, incredible animal sketches and drawings. And I imagined that she would have this fantastic studio, that she studied art at university, got a bachelor's degree or a master's degree in art and has been doing it for years. But no, it was a hobby. And she was doing it on a kitchen table. And I just thought, that's incredible.
Amazing where it comes from. And I saw a beautiful picture. You got Charlie Adlard and it looks like he's got this 20-foot pen. But you took it right at the bottom of the pen. He's just like, boom. It was a really powerful shot, to be fair.
It was a difficult shot to get because I was lying on my back. It really did my abs in because I was lying on the ground just trying to do a sit-up. And
may I ask, was Charlie trying not to laugh in that picture?
Yeah,
I can tell. I know Charlie, and I know how his mind works. But if you were to sort of follow Matt around, your art varies from different things. Paintbrushes, spray. I don't know. Do you use spray paints or is it just
spray paint?
Spray paint.
Yeah.
A laptop for writing books, pens for illustrating. Where does it end for you? You're so talented.
Oh, well.
Blow smoke up your backside, but,
that's
it's true.
Right. I don't mind. I love doing what I do, but I do get bored. And so I always try to move things on, really. And then I always find as well that if, like, the work I'm doing on walls, or doing maybe even a graffiti piece or something like that, it all feeds back into everything else. So into my watercolours and it's everything just inspires and sparks off other things. So the like recent stuff I've been doing with like certain kind of like spray paint technique. I did one on the BT box in town. And, that was through trying to replicate what I do with watercolours because I was getting bored of and then this really flat thing was like a complete, because I was sick of doing outlines on stuff.
Yeah.
So it was just like, what can I do that's really flat? So it's one of those things of just trying out different things. Otherwise I do get bored, just straight up and just want to do new things. And and quite often I will pitch like a new idea. It doesn't always come about, or a new style. When
it comes to doing like murals like this, though, what we're looking at right now, huge things, even bigger. It's a very public thing, isn't it? It's like it's almost as if you have an audience behind you because everyone can see what you're doing. How do you gather the balls, the kahunas to do something like that and get it right? Have you done it and got it wrong? Have you done it? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's all, the more you do it, it's everything. It's the same as everything. The more you do it, the easier it gets. Like I've done talks with my books. And I've always hated public speaking, just totally freaked out, but I've done them in front of, I started off in front of like 10 people and being a nervous wreck, couldn't hold it together, to doing it in front of like 2,000 people. Drawing birds for people and talking nonsense about birds, and it's that thing is like the more you do it, and it's the same with painting on the street. It's like you just got to get a bit of I don't know, like it's almost like another personality as well when you're talking to people. You can't be that thin-skinned with it. I mean, because you do get comments, and I was painting somewhere in Manchester, and this car pulled up behind me, and I was just finished, and I was looking at it, thinking like, I'm pretty pleased with that. And this guy looked like a proper gangster. He just went, calling yourself a graffiti artist. It's beep, mate. I was like, okay. And he just slowly rumbled off in his car. It's like, okay.
It's terrible. And how do you compete against actual graffiti? Because I've got a friend in America that there's this beautiful mural that's been made in America. Mural. Beautiful mural. Muriel's amazing. All right, and she's looking fabulous up on the wall there. And then you get the tag artist that trying to spray paint over, and they've had to have it redone, and then now they've been experimenting with different washes they can put over it that they'll easily wash the way the paints and stuff like that. But they've had this huge battle that's been going on for a year with these graffiti artists that just want to ruin this mural. And so Muriel has had a hard time. How do you combat that?
Well, it's a funny one for me because I started off in graffiti when I was young, and I love tags. I think for me, like a door with just tags all over it, I think it's a beautiful thing. And
it's the trains I like. I love the trains.
Oh man, the old school New York trains are just fantastic, and the London in the early 90s, amazing. And so I mean, I love it, and luckily, not much of my stuff's ever been too badly hit. And but when it does, I kind of think certain places are gonna get hit, because if you're going over somewhere where people go and paint, they're going to go back over you. It's like their spot. Yeah. And I understand that. And if that happens, I mean, I try not to do too much like that, because it is just gentrification, isn't it? At the end of the day,
it's catch-22, isn't it? You know, that's how a graffiti artist learns. But at the same time, you don't want them to ruin your thing.
No, but I mean, that's the thing. Like all of some incredible artists who do all kinds of, from not just visual arts but music and film. You know, we're bombers. We'd go out and bomb. You know, with a can of paint, with a marker pen filled with shoe dye or whatever. You know, it's just part of what they do, and then it's all part of it. From that, you learn to paint. You paint bigger, you get better, you get jobs.
And you have this double-edged sword where you can paint with actual paintings and you can write as well. Is that always been a thing for you, writing books?
No, never. No, I couldn't. I can't even really write emails, you know. So I really struggled at school. All of that kind of stuff, just never ever wrote. And then, like with the books, that came about through doing illustrations of birds for a website called Caught by the River. And I wasn't really getting across how much I loved a blue tit. So I wrote a sentence about it and thought, that just, maybe they could put that next to it. And then the next time it was a longer sentence, like 2 sentences. And then the time after that it was a paragraph. And it was like, oh, okay, I can write like, and then the book deal come through and they were just saying, just write like you do. And I just wrote like I talk, I guess. And it gets heavily edited, to put the sentences right and all of that. And and it was one of those things that I discovered I could do.
It's really hard to find that catchy slogan or that thing. I mean, I was writing I think because we are looking for a new biscuiteer. If you want to come and be a co-host or a social media person for us, please get in touch. But like, I wrote a poster and I was like, become the new biscuiteer, because that's what we call it. We're biscuiteers. That's what we are. It's just really funny. But I like just to try and I was like, would you like to become a biscuiteer for the Shrewsbury? No, would you like to become a biscuiteer? Would you? And you're trying to make an impact with like 4 words. It's just stupid. I hate it.
It is hard. It's bloody hard. And that's the thing for me with I need a break from publishing, because it's the writing I just find so difficult. I love the research. I love the painting. I love it when I get it sent in the post and I've got it in my hands. But the writing I find really, really tricky.
It's a skill in itself, isn't it? Writing.
All of really it. All sort of publishing, whether it's the writing, the graphic design, whether it's the animation. I did this with, I always get these wrong, but the illustrations. Illustration and animation I always get wrong. But the illustrations, it's all an art, it's not an easy thing to do. Like, I spoke to Chip Kidd at Comic Salopia, who designed... he designed the Jurassic Park logo and all these kind of things. He's massive. He's a huge deal. And he's like, graphic designers are just problem solvers. I was like, oh my God, what a great way of putting it. Because that's what you do. You move things around the page until it looks right.
Yeah.
It's a very simplified...
Nudge it around a bit.
Yeah. You know what I mean? You can't just on a page. I do that. I look at my old posters and stuff I used to make and I'm like, oh my God. So when it comes to nature and art and things like that, where do you get your influences from for the birds and the plants and stuff? Do you actually find yourself wandering around and looking at and immersing yourself in that, or is it all?
Yeah. I mean, I don't. Sorry about the dog.
It's all right.
I don't draw the birds like there, and a lot of nature artists. That's what they do, and I've been kind of looked down upon.
Sit still, bird. I'm trying to paint you.
Yeah, exactly. Or like work from their own photography, and all that kind of stuff. But Google Image is like the best the best research you can do, really. I've always loved bird books. I was like into bird books before I was actually into birds, if that makes sense, when I was little. But I love walking, love going out into the hills, love going to, like Stone Circle type places and, getting down on the ley lines.
So touch base with
exactly.
with nature.
Exactly.
One with nature.
Connect with Gaia, I love all that kind of stuff, and I get recharged and get ready to face another day.
How big is the Matt Sewell radius when it comes to like going out and doing work? Do you do work all over the UK or?
Well, I used to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to. That's the thing with publishing took over, and it was brilliant because I've got 2 kids, Romy and May. Hello. And
Hi, kids.
So they're still at school, but it's been, rather than being this job in Illustrator where you never know where like the next 100 quid's coming from.
Yeah.
This, with publishing, you get kind of installments, paid in installments, and then you work. Oh, you're like, okay, I'm getting a bit tight now. Maybe I'll put forward another idea for a book, and then you've just got all these different. So it's like having a job basically. You've got regular money coming in, and then if it goes well, you get royalties, and so.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, so that kind of took over, and I didn't really do anything else while I was doing that. And but I I've worked in Japan.
Really? How was that?
Been amazing. Been over there a couple of times working, painting murals and working with brands and stuff.
Wow.
And
I love their colour over there, don't they?
Oh, it's all about the characters and stuff over there. It's just it's incredible.
The manga stuff, yeah.
Yeah, and just like everything. I love it's like animism. It's like everything has a soul. It seems like even buildings, they will like. Get down. Well, like everything has its own spirit, like Spirit of the Way. I don't know if you've seen that film, brilliant. But
I have this battle with anime. I had my one of my co-hosts is in California. Is kind of like, you need to watch this, man. You need to watch this. I'm just like, I struggled so much with it that I need to really like. We're gonna do this right now.
Watch Spirit of the Way.
I like One Punch Man. I love that. That's like. Ridiculous.
All right, okay, I don't know that one.
If anybody wants an absolute wild ride, just watch One Punch Man. It's amazing. But Spirited Away, I've heard about.
It's brilliant.
Spirited Away. Yeah. That's the Ghibli studios.
Yeah. And Princess Mononoke, which is a bit more of a adventure, like what's action-y kind of one. Brilliant, absolutely incredible.
It's the voice. I'm really sorry. I'm not trying to be offensive. I really am not. But it's the. The silly noises they make. I just like.
Depends what you're watching.
Yeah.
I think you're watching the bad ones.
I'll be watching One Punch Man, which is the one I guess I like it. And then they'll be like, oh. I'm like, no one speaks like that. I need to really like, okay, I'm going to do this if I'm going to watch it. But I mean, the artwork I do appreciate because some of the artwork for the manga comic books and, I know the history behind Spirited Away, it took a long time to make, didn't it? So I do appreciate it. So I'm not saying I hate it because it's terrible. I'm saying I hate it because it's just not my taste. But, but going to Japan to do a mural, that sounds like an amazing achievement,
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
I miss my kids though.
Yeah.
I have to admit, the first time I went was brilliant, and it was an absolute blag. Yeah. And it was like probably about 2002, I think.
Yeah.
And I just had some stuff in a book called Scrawl. There's a lot to do with when it's like his early street art was starting to formulate, and it had come from like people who were drawing on flyers and record sleeves and stuff like that. And it's kind of like my big break getting in that book in a sense. And
nice.
They got in touch with me and said, "Oh, do you want to go to Japan and paint these murals in the shop window with a group of other artists who were my heroes at the time?" And he was like, "Have you done it before?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course, yeah." So I'd painted big before, just like but with spray paint. So I'd never been in a shop window using brushes or anything like that. Well, been in a shop window, but ever painted a proper wall like I do now with my eyes closed. But yeah, I didn't have a clue what I was doing, and really made I that was like properly learning on the job, but surrounded by my heroes, which is a bit kind of.
Let me think. Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah, and then I went. I don't know, maybe about 5 or 6 years ago, and working with Helly Hansen. They're it's like a different company over there. They buy the name in the sense, they license the name and they do their own thing, and it's like really nice company over there. I mean, it probably is over here. I don't know, but and was just traveling around there to their stores and doing displays in the windows and stuff.
Amazing,
incredible.
Sounds like the dream, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was amazing job.
Like with me, this is all about my voice, and at the moment I am looking for an American sound. This is going to sound daft, but really clever at the same time. I'm looking for an American radio station where I can do morning drive time, because the morning for them is like midday for me. Right,
handy.
Right, so I'm looking. My Indeed page is looking at the moment for me and there are things, but they take it so seriously. Like, you needed a degree in commercial this, you need to have 3 years experience over here. Like, I've gone to Splash Time Edge. I was like, yo, can I do that? And they were like, yeah, and I was like, okay, cool. Now I'm on the radio. It's nice sometimes. You got to force that. You got to force it, haven't you? Just to get in there. So I love that you blagged this trip to Japan and you had this amazing experience, because not everybody gets that experience, but something's come of it, hasn't it? So.
Oh God, yeah, yeah. I mean, I was definitely heading that way for doing that kind of work. Yeah, but just gave me a kick up the arse to get better. Instantly.
Have you kind of weaned your way into some amazing projects that you're proud of?
It's interesting what Matt said, how you have an opportunity in front of you, and you think, well, ordinarily no, I wouldn't be able to do that, but it's an opportunity, so I'll accept it and then figure out how I'm going to do it. Yeah. And that happened to me at one point, because for a while I was a wedding photographer. That's what I did. That's how I earned my money. But prior to that, I never wanted to do that. I never wanted to touch wedding photography at all, until somebody contacted me and said, "Oh, we've seen your work. Do you do wedding photography? We'd like you to do our wedding in June next year." And my first reaction was, no way, I'm not doing that.
I don't want to look at you guys being happy and all that. What?
and then I sat and I thought about it, and I thought, well, maybe I could. And so, like you, I thought, okay, yeah, I accepted it, and then I went away and figured out what I needed to do. And on the back of that, I got other work, other wedding photography work, and that started me off really. Yeah.
People keep asking me for business cards. I need to print some more off, because I go to an event with a microphone and they'll see me shoving it in people's faces and like, "Oh, have you got a business card?" I'm like, "Nope." You don't need a business card. Your work is everywhere. Whereabouts in Shrewsbury have you got? I mean, there's one at the bottom of opposite Monty's, isn't there?
Yeah,
that one.
That was like the first. I mean, I'd done a few around and about. So I think Glue was before that. My first one I ever did, which people don't really know about, is in Capers, opposite the sandwich shop, opposite the theatre.
Oh, right, okay.
So first lived it before we had kids. We lived here for about 5 months, and out the back of there. And I didn't know anyone. Jess, my wife, she's a nurse, and she was working the whole time, and I'd get bloody lonely. So I'd go down to buy a sandwich, and I got really friendly with the people who owned Ian and Elaine. They've now left. They have a pub somewhere in Wales. And and they got me to paint a mural for they lived there down there. And like nobody, because it's just hidden away, and it's a bit different to everything else. It's got foxes, and it's got trees, and there's a lad like playing guitar under a tree, you know what I mean? So it's still it's me, but it's not quite. Anyway, but the one that's down by Monty's, that was kind of like to kickstart everything else that's been going on, really, because I got in touch with Bid and said, "Can I paint that wall?" Well, my friend Chris Taylor, actually, I said, "Who's that wall belong to?" He works for the council. So he's kind of like my fixer. And and so I just thought, I like that wall.
So I was right then. You're looking at walls going, "Oh, I want a piece of that."
Yeah. And, and I'll take a picture of it, send it to him. And and so it was all, I just said, "Can I paint that?" And then through that, it's kind of, like people, it just brings up the awareness of what I do, and then
I gotta say,
commissions come through it.
We were meant to do this at the Shrewsbury Coffee House. That's what I was speaking to them yesterday, and then you decided to do it here. I was like, okay, we're doing it here. We're not gonna need to use a table at yours anymore. And I was chatting to them actually for a good hour last night, and they were like, we'd love to get Matt to do a mural here at Shrewsbury Park. So you know what I mean? It's there. The influence is there. You know. I'd love that. I'd love people to be like, we want Alex. I suppose I do get lots of emails when I do a podcast, but like to have your art there, bam, right? That wall at Glue is monstrous. It's huge. So to be able to be given a palette that size or a canvas that size, amazing. I
mean, I don't want to do too much here.
Yeah,
you know, it is definitely a thing of because it was the I'm quite private person, I guess, you know, and I don't like the
people following you around.
Well, there's that, and when there's when I do the murals and stuff, it's like, can you stand in front of that and for the local papers and all that kind of stuff, and I always say no. I just feel really uncomfortable with it being in local papers and stuff for some reason. But I also just don't. It's really nice to see other murals popping up now, you know, it's like by other amazing artists who live here, you know, and there's so much more colour in town now, and it's not like my work here is done, because I'm obviously gonna want to paint, but I don't want to paint every single wall, because the thing is as well, it's like doing this is just like doing, you know, I can take like a bag and walk down and paint somewhere rather than having to drive somewhere, sort out a hotel, all that kind of stuff, which comes with. But I'm trying to get over work.
There's more work. The problem of Shrewsbury as well. You know, I'm doing the Shrewsbury Biscuit, but the Shrewsbury is a very traditional kind of town. You know, there's lots of old buildings and that. You know, maybe there's been a bit. Has there been any sort of fallout about some of the work that you've done anywhere? I mean, I know you did the bridge as well, didn't you? By Castlefield, was it the big pink thing that you did? Was that you?
Oh yeah, down Rea Brook.
On Rea Brook, that's it. My bad.
Yeah. I've kind of claimed that. That's one of the places where I was saying about with it was graffiti down there, and I've tried to keep it one side more graffiti based, and I would like to. You know, I'd paint with local graffiti artists.
Oh, that's cool.
You know what I mean?
That'd
I like sort out. I've been trying to sort out legal walls since I've been here, but it's difficult.
Yeah.
And in the other side is the albino magpie. I don't know if you know about that, because it's not albino, but it's leucistic. So you know, it's pretty much grey.
Yeah.
So, but it's a regular magpie, but it's just all like whitey grey. So it's not a proper albino, but the locals love it, and every now and again it does get hit,
tagged,
you know, and each time I'm going to paint something new, people say, no, don't. We love the magpie because it's, and and that's for me is kind of what it's about. I like to explore like the kind of folklore with nature is more than just a document of what a bird looks like. It has to have something to do with the area.
I think it's really cool that hearing about you, you know, wanting to open to collaboration with other artists as well. I mean, I'm friends with Ollie McNamee, who did the high vis and stuff in Birmingham. There was the graffiti stuff. Yeah. And you know, you got some very talented artists coming out of the woodwork there, and it's all about passing on the torch, isn't it? I mean, it's all well and good. Matt Sewell, it's great, but eventually you're going to move on, and we need a new generation of artists. And and Shrewsbury's like it's just rife with just pure. The talent's just ridiculous here. I'm so jealous of everybody. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm useless and stuff like that.
I mean, you look at the BT boxes. The thing that's been done with the BT doc, because you've done one, haven't you?
Yeah, I just done one.
Yeah, and so it's not just you, but as you said, there's a range.
Yeah, we had
artists.
Sherry Gerard as well.
It's amazing. Yeah. I love that tiger.
It's incredible. It really is.
It's good to celebrate that, you know. And you know, the arts industry has been attacked. I mean, it's not there wasn't no protection for anybody during COVID. You know, whether it was artists, whether it was actors, and you know, theatres got really badly affected. How was COVID for you? I mean, not being able to go out and do your thing.
Yeah, it was tough.
Yeah.
Like my wife Jess, she's a nurse, and she started in recovery. She'd been working elsewhere, and then she got a new job, and then within weeks that was shut down to be like the COVID ward.
Oh no!
Right at the beginning, when we didn't really know what was going on and all that kind of stuff. So she was fine about it. She was actually quite like the kind of sudden high intensity. Yeah, exactly. But really, in the end, they didn't really do that much. But I think for everybody else on the outside, going, "Oh my God, you're doing that," because she didn't know, did we? You know what I mean? So and then there was all of the homeschooling, which was just really hard. But we got through, and then and look, I had books to work on. So I had a this project I'd been working on with Royal Shakespeare Company for the big place in Stratford, doing a big exhibition with them, and been working on it for months, and it was just about to start that week, and it got shut down totally. And I was like desperate because I was doing this massive mural that had every stroke just about planned out on it, so it could get the go ahead. And so I was absolutely gutted because that was like a new step for me, working in different kind of environments like that.
Yeah, it's not very nice when you get this build up to this big thing and then stop.
Yeah, but I mean, everybody, a lot of my good friends are artists or designers or whatever, and everyone had those stories to tell. And just like get on with it, and move on. And then and
I think it makes you appreciate kind of life a little bit more, because I was kind of like, silly things like coming to town, going to coffee shops, things like that. I love being socially antisocial, I call it. I like to get my laptop, sit in a coffee shop, and just completely ignore everybody. That's what I love to do, right? And then my favorite place at the moment is House Coffee at the in Colham there, and they're used to me now. I walk in, they're like, black coffee, yep, and then I'll sit down and they'll bring it to me, and then they'll leave me to it.
Well, that's like the opposite of me. I just I can't do that. I'll sit in. I think I can do that. I'll just go, right, I'm going to take a sketch pad, and I'll just drink my tea really quick and then get out. I can't handle it. So I try it. It's just not. I don't know. I'm not.
I don't mind working at home, but it's home, isn't it? I like to separate home and work. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why you'll find me ducking in and out of coffee shops to do stuff, do some editing or something. It's really weird that I've got. It's funny as well because I'll be sat at a coffee shop and I'll be listening to some audio that I'm editing, and somebody will say something funny and I'll laugh out, and everybody's looking at me like, "What's he doing? It's weird." But yeah, when that got taken away from us, I was kind of like, "Oh, gutted,"
Yeah. I mean, I ended up doing 2 books as well during it, which one was extremely depressing because it was Save Our Birds. It was like the last book I've just had out. It was early in spring, and it's all about the endangered endangered birds, and it's really about habitat loss, climate change. So it was horrible. It was really, really depressing. I didn't need it.
It's important work, but it's not very nice. I get it. Yeah.
And because that was the thing, I didn't want to do another bird book, but I felt like, right, okay, there's so much information out there, and people it's not really delivered in the right way, that people just think, oh, it's up to other people to do. And it is. There's a lot we really can't do much about habitat loss and stuff. But I think if you know about it, if the information's put across in a certain way, it makes you understand what's happening. And
I was chatting to Niall McCann, who's from Shrewsbury's national National Geographic explorer. And I was chatting to him, and he was talking about how it's all you've got to teach the kids to respect. We were talking about the quarry, and the kids will go down there and leave their crap everywhere, the bottles and stuff. It was a big problem during the summer, he's saying like, if your kids see you recycling, if they see you respecting nature, then they'll follow you. Because when you disassociate yourself with looking after nature and leaving your crap everywhere and being, offering a dangerous habitat for animals, it's really important to do that. So I feel like books like that are important to remind people that you've got to do your apart, looking for nature, looking out for nature. I don't know. It's a really interesting thing when it comes to teaching the next generation how to look after the world. Because, I feel like as the generations move on, it's gone from bad to not so bad, but bad. And us, we're kind of understanding the things now. And then it's kind of sort of leaning back again. Kids just throwing their stuff everywhere. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, really, I totally appreciate what you're saying, but it's about the landowners. They're the custodians of the land where the birds live, and they're the ones who need to, rather than bleaching out the habitat and trying to squeeze as much hectarage of growth or perfect grouse shooting hills upon hills that should be covered in trees. It will store water, that will stop flooding, that will encourage more growth, encourage countless other things. That's what it comes down to. In the Royals, they're like one of the biggest landowners in the country, and there's all of this, Prince, whoever it was, with his prize for the green ideas, and it's just like, here's an idea. Why don't you? Just convert a bit of your land to being perfect for songbirds to come and, rather than to eat the insects, rather than using insecticide, there's all these things. It's
Didn't Chris Packham recently call on the royal family to start rewilding some of their their estates?
Wildcard project, I'm kind of involved with them a little bit. Yeah.
Constant tug of war. I mean, there's like they're trying to reintroduce beavers into Shrewsbury, into Shropshire. That's amazing.
That's the last image in my book, the new book.
Really?
Because the beavers would be brilliant.
Yeah.
Imagine having beavers. In town. Sorry, I didn't realize there were beavers in town, but outside of town.
my co-host Tom Bruner's in Vermont, and he's like, "Oh, good luck with that," because he's just up on the Canadian border. He's like, "Beavers are horrible." He's like, "They're great, but they're really aggressive." Like you saying, they go kayaking a lot, and then they hit this massive slap on the side of the boat, and his friend was like, "Yeah, that's a beaver." They swim up to you and attack you to get lost. Yeah.
I love that.
That's
Imagine
great, though.
That.
I mean, that's
I've met my
feisty.
day that.
Yeah.
I
got slapped by a beaver.
Yeah, exactly. I remember being really jealous of my wife when we were in Australia. She got attacked by a magpie. I was just, I was paid for that.
Oh man, what was like the reaction to a book like that? Sort of look after our birds. This is what's happening. Save the birds.
Well, a lot of people are saying, brilliant. It's really needed. I've had some dodgy. I've had some upset farmers get in touch with me.
I bet.
Because it's I'm calling the farmers out, and it's not like all farmers, but they're, like I said, they are the custodians, and and I think a lot of people see my work as like the funny little books about birds, what they've been buying their grandkids and and then suddenly they're reading it and going like, holy right, okay, this is and it's not gone down too well.
No.
Like, but
it always makes me laugh with social media, and I'm probably going to lose a couple of listeners, I don't know, but when you see like Extinction Rebellion and they do their thing, and then you get like, oh, but they drove there, didn't they? And all these comments on Facebook, and I'm like, you're an idiot. You're a full-blown idiot. Like they're trying to actually prove a point, and I know it's an inconvenience to everybody, but so is the death of the planet.
Yeah. I know people just want to pick apart the smallest. Oh, well, you can't do. Oh, look at this. Oh, look at that. Like, whatever. Like
Facebook is ridiculous at the moment. It really is. You can't. I was talking to the guys from Men Walking and Talking. Have you heard that? Big shout out to those guys, by the way. The Men Walking and Talking guys. I went last night. It was fantastic. It was brilliant. Just literally, you turn up, you meet up, and you just walk. And if you want to talk to people, you can talk to people. If you don't have to. And you can choose what you want to talk to. And it's for guys that are like sat at home on their own all day and don't really have anything else and nobody else to talk to. They're a great bunch of guys. But anyway, I was talking about gosh, I lost my way now. What was I talking about?
Angry people on Facebook.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, he offered this thing, like his Men Walking and Talking. It's an amazing thing. And the arguments were, well, we need something like that for women. Why haven't women got something like that? And I was just like, oh my God, seriously. Like, people just argue for the sake of arguing, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't really do, I use Instagram, but I've been off Facebook for years.
That's getting bad as well. Instagram used to be a really happy place. Now it's kind of like really catching up.
I mean, there needs to be a new platform invented for visual arts.
Just likes and no comments.
Well, I don't know. It's just a weird thing. I mean, it's ruined loads of things.
Yeah.
You know. Anyway, but
Instagram's a great thing for what you do, James, and what you do, visual stuff. I mean, we've got a great podcast. On Instagram, and we do audio only stuff. It's really weird how you can turn something like that into the visual. And what are you working on at the moment, Matt? Have you got any books that you're writing? Are you got a mural planned for anything? What's going on up there?
Yeah, there's loads of irons in the fire. Currently making having a new studio built.
Nice.
Shouts to Copthorne Garden Building.
Nice.
My friend Rob. And so I'm kind of looking at doing more just straight up artwork, I guess. You know, paintings, prints, kind of. I'd like to aim towards being that kind of artist again, rather than working to so many deadlines and all of that kind of stuff. So that was after like 10 years of so I did like 13 books in under 10 years. So it's pretty there's a lot of deadlines in that, you know.
Nothing worse than a deadline. Yeah. I don't work well for that sort of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, I'll be like, oh, it's okay, we've got 6 weeks. Oh, it's okay, we've got 3 weeks. It's okay, we've got 2 weeks. It's all right, we've got 5 days, don't worry about it.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's like, oh, you've got to write a book in those 5 days. Yeah. Well, I haven't done that. Yeah, I'm just wanting to do more. With the murals, is like working outside a lot, but also I don't like talking about stuff too much before they're really happening, but that's the area I'm going. Okay. But yeah, I'm not going to
push you too much. I'm not going to be like, no, seriously.
and I'm spreading my wings again, really. Going back to the kind of pre-publishing times of other kinds of artwork.
It's nice sometimes to go back to basics, and I'm doing that a lot. I'm doing that a lot because this is one thing I was talking about as well. I'm very honest and open about things I do with the Biscuit and the podcast and stuff. You know, they've kind of, everybody knows who the Biscuit is, but the listeners have kind of dropped a bit. Like, and I was kind of like, oh my God, what's happening? Like, what's going on? And the last 2 months are just gradually getting less and less, and I'm like, what's going on here? So it's a case of having to learn again. You know, I was like this guy where people come to me for advice. Oh, it's the Biscuit guy. He does the podcast to speak to Alex. He'll help you. And I've helped people progress, you know. And now I'm asking about it's really weird.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It's good. Who was it I was speaking to saying that? It was Kay Gunner across the road, Lavender Hamper Company, and she was saying you've always got to keep yourself educated. You're always learning. You're always training, and I thought that was really good, actually.
Yeah, that's good advice.
Yeah,
but you know, mate, it might be something like some algorithm somewhere has changed.
Yeah, it probably is
nonsense like that. You know, it's nothing to do with you. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just weird.
I think what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start shocking the. I'm just going to start interviewing naked. They can't see it. They can't tell. I'm naked right now. Hey guys, I'm naked on the Shrewsbury Biscuit. You know,
he is naked, by the way.
I am. Get out! Matt, where can people find you on social media and stuff if they want to see your art? First of all, by the way, if you will have seen Matt's art around town, you know, you don't even have to look hard for it. If you've been, I've had a few points outside Wetherspoons, Monty's. You've seen his work outside there.
Yeah, I mean, online, is Instagram at Matt Sewell, just one word. On my website, mattsewell.co.uk.
Your website's really nice, by the way.
Oh, thanks very much. Needs updating. I haven't put any new work on there for a while.
When credit's due.
But it's like one of those things as well, is like people don't realise, I think, with like the books and all of that, they're like, oh, where does Matt sell them himself and stuff? It's like, no, they're like everywhere. You know, they're properly, you know, published by the world's biggest publisher, and they're all over the world, basically. But you can get them Smiths, Waterstones, or smaller Penguin Books and wherever, you know.
Do you do book signings and stuff? Have you ever done them?
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Loads of them.
Yeah. What's that like? I mean, I always imagine
Well, I don't like doing the ones, where you sit there and nobody turns up. I don't like doing them ones, but I like doing the ones where they sell tickets, where I'll draw birds for people. I like teach people how to draw birds, how to, out of doing simple shapes, and you can turn like an egg into a wren very easily, and stuff like that, or more elaborate. But
I don't mind performing in front of an audience and stuff. I have no problems with that at all. But with the Pod stuff, I remember we had Charlie Adlard come and sit with us, and the most sort of cliche thing to do when you've got someone like yourself or Charlie Adlard or an artist to be like, "Can you do us a drawing?" And I didn't want to do that because my idea is that is hell. Like, people just standing over you while you're trying to do a drawing. Like, what if you mess it up? Do you know what I mean?
But that's what you do, though. I would prefer to just draw and not talk.
Yeah?
Yeah, totally. Because
off you go.
People don't want to... I don't know. It's like one of them things. I don't feel like people want to... It's all about the artwork for me. It's not about me. That's why I was saying I don't really like my photos in. And I like my art being everywhere because it's about the art. It's not me. I don't have pictures of... I don't know, a lot. That's why, like with Instagram, it seems to be this thing where everybody thinks the art will only be of any interest if you're like stood in front of it half naked. You know what I mean? It's totally what it is.
It's a valid point.
And it's like, that's bullshit. Oh, sorry, I can't swear. That's not what, like for me, I absolutely hate that. And I'm hidden away in the corner, but it's all about the artwork. It's about, and for a while when I started doing the murals and stuff, and people, brightens the place up a bit, doesn't it? Brightens it, and like Jess was like taking the mick out of me saying, "Oh, that'll be on your gravestone," and But I was thinking about it. It's just like, well, that's all right, really, isn't it? Okay, because that's really it's paint. I'm putting paint on something, changing the color of something, and if it makes people smile, there's nothing better. And I quite like that now.
Yeah, I mean. It does add colour, and I love the BT boxes because it just adds something nice to like. I love like that. There's like these traditional old buildings, and then this brilliant bright colour thing just sat there right in the middle of it all. I love that. I think it's really good. I also like the urban. Like I was talking about the trains and stuff. Like I love going to London and stuff sometimes, and seeing that urban, the graffiti and stuff really adds to it. You know what I mean? And what was I watching the other day? I was watching the movies that made us, and we were talking about Elf. I wanted to know how they made Elf, and they were like, "Oh, we need to go Christmas in New York," and they showed this thing of Christmas in New York, all the bright lights, the graffiti and stuff. And I was like, "I want to go so badly!" Like, I love that. It's weird how that's just romantic to me, right? I don't know. I just love it.
No, God, no. I mean, it's yeah. I mean, God, that's like my first kind of seeing my first. Getting into graffiti was through watching like Eddie Murphy films. Yeah. You know what I mean? Where he would just be in New York in the 80s, and God, it's like grimy as anything, but you still like seeing this writing on the walls and stuff, and you're like, what is that?
And there's places around the UK that have become like hotspots for graffiti. So obviously you've got
Bristol.
You've got the Brick Lane area in East End. The Baltic Triangle in Liverpool. Do you know that? That's becoming quite...
Yeah.
There's a lot of street art around there.
There's a place
in... It's a street, isn't it? I think.
In Birmingham as well, isn't there? Is it the Custard Factory?
Yeah, Digbeth. Digbeth is like... Yeah, amazing stuff, Digbeth.
Yeah. The Mustard Factory. I've been there loads of times. They've got the great place with the food trucks, the Digbeth food...
Dining club.
Yeah. It's amazing. I was going to say something else as well, and I forgot. This is what my mind is like today. I'm a bit scrambled, to be honest. But no, I love that idea. I was going to say something that's really important, and it's gone. I love that. I love chatting to you. I think I love getting up inside the head of an artist and finding out what makes them tick and stuff. And you're welcome on the show anytime. Seriously, if you've got something you're working on, give me a shout.
I've always got stuff to flog.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, next coming, should give out drawn Cherie's Christmas illustrators extravaganza down at the museum.
That went really well the last time, wasn't it?
It was brilliant. Yeah. Made a nice wedge.
You had your stuff set up because I came out with a microphone.
Yes.
And they were like, "Oh, we'll just move Matt's stuff out the way so we can get a picture." And I was like, "Oh, I don't want to touch this guy's art. He might come and beat me to death." Like, I was actually really good. You weren't there. Me and James were there.
That's right. Yeah.
Went down really well. That did.
No, it was good. It was really good. I met loads of people as well. So that was. I mean, it was nice to make some money and sell some bits.
Yeah.
That's been in the studio for a while. But I met loads of artists.
Next week I'll be chatting to Cherie and to Tat FB as well. No, it's not next week. Week after. And Tat was like, "I'm going to make you Shrewsbury Biscuit again." I was like, "Yes."
Result.
Yeah.
Because she looks like she's a good cook.
Tat.
As well, some of those cakes look.
Did you see the one she did with made it look like a beach? It was amazing. You go onto Tat FB's Instagram, and she makes these amazing cakes. And she made one that looked like a bit like Tracy Island. Remember the Thunderbirds?
Oh, yes, I think I did see that.
And blue jelly and stuff like it was for the sea. She's amazing. She's so talented. Hi Tat, make me cakes. you give us biscuits as well today. I'm eating one, but I'm going to have one on the way out. But,
good.
I want to tell you guys as well, because at the moment we're making a few sort of changes to our personnel. We haven't fallen out or anything. Shane's got another job, so he can't sort of commit. I love him very much, and Jules has been really selfish and moving to Scotland. James is just our friend. He's like, "Yo, James, you busy?" No, come on then. So he's kind of our honorary biscuiteer. But if you want to get involved, if you want to become a co-host, I mean, it helps if you are somebody that maybe works nights, antisocial hours like me, and you're sort of free during the day, and we can come do these things. That would be really, really beneficial. But I'd like someone to bounce off. I always say like these interviews are best when we're free. It just seems to flow a bit better. Do you know what I mean? So if you want to get involved, become a co-host, we are looking for someone. We're also looking for someone to help us run our social media. I don't always have time. Sometimes I'm asleep during the day because I've done a night shift. So if you want to help run our sort of social media, Facebook, Instagram, help us schedule out some posts. If you want to, research guests as well. Find us guests. I really want someone to work with us to sort of help the biscuit grow, because we've got an amazing new ventures that we're going to be going down soon. But some I've mentioned on the show before, but I don't want to go on about too much because I'm going to go have a meeting to talk about that in a second. So I'll know a bit more for the next show. But if you want to get involved, email me at it's shrewsburybiscuitpodcast@gmail.com. You can go to our website as well, which is the shrewsburybiscuitpodcast.co.uk. Our sort of audio is available on there, as well as iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts from. I mean, have a thing on YouTube as well. Did you see that? We're doing releasing our vintage, vintage episodes on YouTube. So all the we've been going over 300 episodes, nearly 30,000 downloads. It's been a great journey so far. So I thought I'd share some of those old bits to YouTube, which we've never used before. So make sure you go and follow our YouTube channel. I've done all that bit. Matt, thank you so much for chatting to us today.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah,
it's been fun.
James, thank you.
Thank you for asking me over here. It's been great.
Yeah, it was very short notice last night. I was like, "Yo, James, you're busy." He's like, "No, it's like, you're coming with me." Right, we'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for listening. Peace out.